Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This is Painful Excellence Podcast. Smash the like button, share the video. Let's have a conversation. First, let's do this quick roll call. Shauna TV, I know y'all can't see her. I'm gonna pin her message. Right, and then I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna share it with the other part later because I can't share everything. But I'm gonna pin her message. Salute to Shauna TV. She might be back too. She put this earlier. Sometimes when you leave the message there for a long period amount of time, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Chilltown Majors, Rod Neal, Love is a Word, Phenomenal Mexican, Night Train, Gnarly Ray, ES. Let's get to it. You know, my work schedule changes, so I gotta, do some things with the show. But I have some other things that I'll be doing. I'll bring that to you as I go along. Jeff Spark, my brother, salute, man. Let's talk about it, y'all. Everybody in here is just, we're all adults of certain ages, but I want you to think back to a point in your life. Let me talk to the brothers real quick. I see the sisters in here. ES, Love is a Word. Shauna TV's here. Let me talk to the men real quick. I'm assuming most of us, with the exception of Phenomenal Mexican, most of us are in our 40s. I want you to think back, and Phenomenal Mexican, I'm not going to exclude you. Maybe you went through this, maybe you haven't. Think back to, I want to say maybe when you was maybe 18, between the ages of 18 and possibly 25. Mojave Nation, salute, brother. What's going on? Think back to the time, and this is not the time to be a tough guy. I'm actually y'all to be a little vulnerable now. Think about the time when you was a little thirsty. I mean, the older you get, the less F's you give. But think about the time puberty was over. You're done dry humping the mattress. You're not masturbating at 1,000 miles an hour anymore. You know what I mean? KD, what up? And think about the time when you was a little vulnerable. And that one girl was giving you a little bit of play. And you're like, is she? Could it be? And you find yourself doing things and you look back on it and you're damn near embarrassed. You're like, man, I would never, what the hell was I doing? I would never. Case in point, I told y'all the story all the time about how I almost got killed in Brooklyn. I got chased by a bunch of Decepticons. Yes, that was a real gang, purple and gray, in Coney Island. I've never been so happy to see a police officer in my life. I mean, I ran up those steps, man. Them brothers was crashing into each other, looking like World War Z. And I hopped that turnstile, and that cop grabbed me, was like, tired of y'all hopping the train. I said, you ain't chasing me. And they were on me. He pulled out his revolver. That's how long ago? Some of those OGs had revolvers. And he said, what did you do? I said, nothing. I went to go see a shorty. He said, get on this train, get the hell out of here, and do not come back. Like 1 or 2 in the morning. Think back, exactly, Rod. That's the exact word. Think back the time when you played the fool. I mean, whether you look back at it now and you just get mad at yourself, or, you can laugh about it. A lot of the stuff I could laugh about because I'm alive. I ain't make no babies. I ain't get shot and stabbed. And mind you, this was the 90s, y'all. There was a lot of that going on in my city. Khalid, what's going on, brother? Oh, bro. Listen, man. Khalid, listen, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. When you're young, Now listen, I get on the ladies when they have 14 kids and they're 22 years old, and you're asking them what's up with that. They be like, I was young. And it's like, wait a minute, you're still young. What you mean? You're just having fun and not protecting yourself. I'm talking about, when you're young and listen, I was hopping on the train. I wasn't driving at the time. I'm hopping on the train, going to parts of Brooklyn. I had no business in these neighborhoods, bro. All in the name of tail, bro. How do you get young black men? Money and kitty cat. Y'all know what time it is. And here's the part. I had OGs in my life. I had my father, my older brother, my older cousins. I was like, yo, look, Coochie's gonna be there. Get yourself a job. Get your money up. Finish school if that's what you want to do. But the women are gonna be there. And they all would tell me, once you get your looks together, because this look you have when you're 18 is not gonna be what it is when it's 25. It's not gonna be when it's 30. It's not gonna be 40. You're not gonna get yourself together until you're like in your early 40s. And then when you buckle down and say, okay, now I'm looking to procreate, the chicks you were chasing, if they're still around, they're not going to look the same. They're probably going to have created broken households. You don't want to be a part of that. And then they're going to be looking at you like, why we ain't get together? And I'll be damned, everything they said was true. Everything. Y'all must have forgot. Salute, man. I appreciate you. Everything they said was true. I mean, I want y'all to think back to when you could look back and literally say, man, I was an effing idiot for that. I should have never did that. Yeah, KD, bro. How about this? I'm not gonna put it on all men. I'm gonna put it on me. I know I've done some silly-ish. That I look back now and I just smirk like, yo, I can't believe I did that. So what I'm asking y'all now, ladies, the couple of ladies that are in here, I'm not asking y'all to put y'all business out there, but just give me a yes or no. Did you find yourself chasing a situation where it's like, why the hell was I even locked in like that? Think about it, y'all. That's what I'm saying. What are you chasing? And Forrest Gump came on TV the other day. Well, like 2 weeks ago, not the other day. I meant to do this live a while ago. Listen, man. Jenny was the worst, but here's the deal. Mark, what up? Here's the deal. Son Moses, what's good? Here's the deal. Jenny was the worst, but Forrest Gump was retarded. That was his excuse. What was my excuse? Seriously. At least Forrest Gump was retarded. He was just blessed. Right place, right time, you know what I'm saying? Ended up in the army, became a war hero. I mean, it's a fun film to watch, but Jenny got on my nerves. I said, what is she doing? Drug addict and all that. She was the worst. She was a super villain. And here's the deal. Forrest Gump was a regular, kind-hearted soul, and he loved her unconditionally. How about that? Word up, get your straight drop. Hell yeah. Forrest was on that straight drop. Yeah, Connell, she was a thought pocket. Yeah, Shelton, yeah. Yo, man. He saw through every last flaw. As a matter of fact, he didn't see flaws, but you see, him not seeing her for who and what she was is how he saw the world, was it not? in the middle of Jim Crow laws and everything, that black woman dropped her book on the ground and he picked it up and just handed it to her. Run, Forrest. When he was going into the military, she says, look, when something happens, just run. And he ran. And he said, oh man, I'm the only person around. And he went back into the jungle and got all his people out. Todd Swindle, salute. Yeah, wasn't that a line? Why don't you love me, Jenny? Well, she knew Forrest was different, but what did she want? Let me tell you, she want what she got. She got with a lot of fast dudes. This movie took place like what, in the 60s? She got involved with the drugs and the heroin, and they weren't clear whether she caught the package from, you know, sex or drugs. But you know why Jenny couldn't love him? She was out there not only chasing the wrong person, because, you know, she was troubled. You know, she was abused and all that stuff. Remember, he came up and had the house knocked over and stuff like that. I get it. She was incapable. She had problems. But you know why she couldn't love him? Because he was who he was. And she knew she was effed up. She knew that. She knew he was effed. She knew she was effed up. But you know what she did do, right? She went ahead and made her life, and when she finally gave up that tail, they got separated. Remember that? And Forrest then became a international hero. Bubba Gump, shrimp, and all of that stuff. Multi-millionaire. And he still, then she finds him. Bing, bang, bing, guess what? That little boy in the living room, that's your son. And by the way, she's on her deathbed. She's dying. You know, I don't think she gave up the tail to Forrest because she liked him, but, you know, she kind of gave it up because she felt she owed him. Because as messed up as she was, he was the only person nice to her. Because that's how he saw the world. And she didn't see herself like that. And she was the worst. She was the absolute worst. She was a villain. But isn't this a case of unconditional love? Yeah, he was a simp, Mr. Shelton. He was a simp. But you know what? Here's the thing. His was his excuse. He was different. Village Brothers salute. He was different. He wasn't normal. That's what the movie's about. He's just a regular soul. Uncorrupted by the world. He saw things just straight as they were. That's why he was the perfect sergeant. He was the perfect soldier. Ping pong, remember that? How do you play? Just hit the ball and take it off the ball. And he literally didn't take his eyes off the ball. Yeah, Forrest had autism. He was an autism person. They're autistic. Autistic people are put like this. You saw Rain Man. You know I was based off a real person? I saw him on television one day. This dude he uses a portion of his brain that we don't use at all. We don't use our brain to our full capacity. You know that, right? So technically, we're the retards. This dude, he could read a book and tell you it word for word. He absorbs so much stuff when he reads it. But guess what? He can't tie his own fucking shoe. He can't drive a car. Shit like that. It's crazy, right? Young Hollywood, salute. Weird stuff. What is going on with this? I'm gonna hold on to that, Mr. Shelton. That's crazy. Now Mr. Shelton can't type things. All right, YouTube. It's not even belligerent. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. You know, so this was Forrest Gump, but my focus is the character, Jenny. Brothers, how many Jennies did you realize you was chasing? Watch this, y'all. Brothers, if you don't want to admit it, that's fine. If it was never you, that's fine. Nah, Phenomenal Mexican. You know what? In the movie, that was his son, and they let you know when he first saw him. You know how they did that? The way his son was sitting in the living room on the floor looking at the TV, and he went and sat next to his son and did the same thing, the same pose. That's how they let you know. There's certain things that I do that my dad does, and I just do it. And the only people that pick up on it are the other relatives. It's like, yo, you know, your father does that. I'm like, huh? Oh, I ain't realizing. It's just second nature to me. You know, how about this, brothers? Whether you want to admit it or not, that's cool. What about the dude you know that fell for the smut? And you're like, yo, I'm telling you, Shorty just got out the staircase with, you know, Raheem down the block. And you just saw her get on the bus. Guess where she's going? She's going to, you know, Fatim up the block. Everybody done smashed. She gave you a little tail, and now you going crazy. Terrence, what up? Now you going crazy. You ever had a boy like that? Like, yo, bro, you know, who's gonna tell him? Oh man, I got a story about that, man. Hold on, y'all. I got a story. And I don't mean to laugh, because he found out the hard way, man. Listen, check it out, y'all. All right. Story time. So, group of us, and you know, there was a group of chicks, and there was two shorties in particular that were hot to trot, right? And yeah, one of my boys fell for it. Now, we let him know, yo, look, this is fun time, you know. But you do know that he beat and he beat. So I see y'all talking a lot, but we just let you know what she's doing now with you. She did that with like 3 of us already, and there's other cats. They just wait. They're just waiting their turn. Brush it off, and then you remind him, because now you see him, you know, buying her food and holding her hand, and you're like, ooh, you're my man. So now we on the courts playing ball. We're like, yo, you know, we're not telling you not to do nothing. We're just saying that's not your girl. It's just going to be your turn. Just let you know. Detroit, what up, man? And And one day he just snapped on us. What the fuck's wrong with y'all? Yo, y'all jealous? What do you mean? This was before we was using the term hater. Saying, man, since I've been, with her kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just on me. I'm like, what do you mean? Then he hit us with the, all right, but maybe she changed. That was in the past. Literally on the court with two dudes that beat. That was in the past. The past? It's August. This happened in March. And it was two of them in the same month. So I'm on the court telling them, like, stop, just stop. Let's just play ball. I already see where this is going. Just stop. Stop. Well, we left it alone. We didn't bring it up. We was like, all right, sorry. We ain't saying nothing. And it was so crazy that her girlfriends, of course, you know how women are. Girls coming to us, yo, he really don't say nothing. Yo, does he know? Don't say nothing. He got into a fight with somebody over her. Now, we ain't know this dude, and it wasn't a situation where we had to, like, rather the truth, be like, yo, who that? It was a dude, he ain't live around the way, but he wasn't no troublemaker or nothing like that. But he showed, from what I heard, the story was he showed up to the crib and she wouldn't let him. He shows up to the crib unannounced, right? Because we all lived in separate buildings, but it's the neighborhood. He shows up to the crib unannounced, rang the intercom. Who? It was so-and-so. She didn't let him in. Now he's standing in the lobby. Now, her girlfriend was in the crib, and so was old boy. I don't know what they was about to do. I can only imagine. He goes to the door. Bro, he had to wait for someone to come out the building so he can go in. So he goes to the door. He hears music. He hears music playing, right? Right? And I'm going to share a story about me after this, because when he told the story, I said, damn, I kind of went through that, but not like this. It was a little different. I'll share that story after this. But he said he went to the door. They heard the music. He heard the music. He's ringing a bell. He said the music stopped because now, after the fight, now he outside with a cut on his face. We're like, yo, what happened? We thinking someone jumped him. We looking around like, who's out here? He's like, nah, I went to show. And he's telling the story. He's like, he rang the bell. Then the music stopped. And everyone got quiet, right? So he rang the bell again. Because like he knows someone is there. Yo, I just happened to ask him, I was like, yo, how long was you ringing the bell? He was ringing that bell for 10 fucking minutes. You know what it is to be standing in front of a bell and everyone just stopped? Like, yo, he's at the door. Maybe he'll go away. Now, as he's telling the story, he's not realizing that he sounds like a maniac. He said, I know I heard people in there. Not one person, but people. He got on the floor to look under the door. I said, oh, shit, he's doing too much. Now, mind you, this is over a girl that at least 2 cats in our set beat already. Now he banging on the door. Then the music turns back on.
Whoa! What the kind of pretty before it gets started, ain't it? Oh, Froggy when he courting, he did ride Crambo.
Go! Now he's telling us the story. So he starts calling her name. I ain't gonna say her name. Because by the way, I still talk to all of them. Everyone's grown. Some of them are grandparents now. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. She's banging on the door saying her name. Fucking neighbors are sticking their head out like, what the fuck? So one of the neighbors said, I'm calling the police. He leaves. But he don't get on the elevator. Dumb nigga goes to the staircase and sits in the staircase and waited to hear. Nobody called the police. They just said they were doing that. So he keeps sticking his head out the staircase door. Well, eventually, after 2 hours, because as he's telling the story, I was like, well, how long before someone came out? He's like, yeah, I was up there for a couple of hours. But then when they came out, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm looking at my boys. Did you hear me? Banged on the door for 10 minutes. And then he hit the staircase for a couple of hours. We just gonna act like we didn't hear that. I'm just letting him talk. I'm like, yo. And I looked at my boys and said, yo. Her pussycat that good? They were like, we ain't wilding out like this nigga. There's something to do. We just let him go off. So the door opens. 3 of the chicks come out with old boy. He flings the door open from the staircase. He come out staring. Old boy staring like, what? Now they all standing there like, what? So he goes up, yo, why you ain't answer the fucking door? She was like, yo, will you banging on my door? I ain't ring you in. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't come up here unannounced. And what he didn't understand at that moment was they weren't even official. That's number one. They never, because as he's telling the story, he says, this is what he says. Her and I have words. And homie was like, yo, chill. And he's like, yo, you don't know me. He was like, well, you don't know me. And they start thumping in the hallway. Now, he ain't gonna say he took an L. He had a little cut on his eye. And Shorty came out. You know, when he went home, we caught up with them. We just walked around until we found them. We was like, yo, what happened? It was like, yo, you know, they fought. Well, I was like, well, what type of time is old boy on? Is he going back to where you live and coming back? Is it gonna be that kind of thing? And she was like, nah, he ain't like that. But someone so jumped on him and they just started thumping. Because, you know, he was like talking and he got a little too close to, I ain't gonna say her name. And he was like, yo, chill, yo, relax. You know, he was like, yo, you don't know me. You don't know me. Boom, 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 boom. And they fought. I was like, well, okay. I was like, yo, it was like a draw. But, you know, he need to chill. And I said, well, what was going, it's not, you know, we asked, what was going on in the house? And she was like, you know what time it is. I was like, oh, okay. All right, so what happened? Well, he showed up unannounced. He rang the intercom. She didn't let him in. Then he comes to the door. We turned the music down, hoping he'd go away. But 10 minutes, he's on the door. So then, homie did turn the music on. I was like, fuck it, you ain't letting them in. Turn the music back on. So we turned the music back on, and they were just in there laughing and joking, doing whatever it was they were doing. And it was like a couple of hours later, we leave out the house, and he come out the staircase with his fist balled up. Yo, why you ain't let me in? Yo, what the fuck? Now watch this. 2 things. Number 1, that's not your girl. Because we asked her, like, yo, y'all official? Y'all dating? She's like, no. You know what time it is. She looked at me. I never beat. But she looked at me. You know what time it is? I do, but I don't, but I understand. Banging on the door for 2 hours. Well, you hide in the staircase for 2 hours. Banging on the door for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes to 2 hours, you could have watched a whole movie of Lord of the Rings. Well, that Lord of the Rings wasn't out back then, but you get what I'm saying. You could have watched the whole movie and came back. So y'all not official. Just chill, play your position and watch this. Even if y'all was official, she didn't let you in the crib. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I never corrected him because we were all in the same age group, and it was kind of hard for us to give each other advice sometimes because we were all fabulous fuck ups. So we listen to older people, really. So we had this conversation a few years ago. Now everyone's grown with kids and everything. And I asked him, you remember that? And he smiled and said, yeah. And I asked him about the whole situation again. His story ain't changed. The difference is, you know what he said? He said, yo, all I kept imagining was what was going on the other side of the door. I knew she was there with her girlfriends, but I just knew there was a nigga on the other side of the door, so I just kept knocking. And then when the music stopped, I kept knocking. And then the fucking neighbor said she gonna call the cops, so I didn't leave. I just stood on the staircase and I would stick my head out. And I said, well, what's up, bro? Why'd you do that? Was that like the first piece of tail? He says, nah. He said, I was like three girls in at that point. So what made you do that? He said, ego. He said, bro, that was the best head I ever had.
Whoa, what the yeah, it's kind of pretty before it gets started, ain't it?
Go! Derrick Gaines, a legend. Salute. There it is. Let me tell you, in my day, in the 90s, head was a big deal. Now these chicks are just first date. They don't even kiss you. They'll give you head before they kiss you. Mister, what up? It was a big deal. If you was dating a chick and you got some head, that was something to discuss. Now it's everybody doing it. And I said, bro, you serious? He said prior to her, he had head once from another chick and it wasn't that great. We said when she did it, I was like, sheesh. And he said, he went there and he heard her there and he had his heart set on it. And he said he just knew there was a dude in there. But I said, how do you know dude was there for her? And you know her girlfriends was there. You know how they are. He's like, yo, at that point, I ain't want that mouth anywhere else but on me. He said, I was ready to fight for that. And I did fight for it. How'd that work out for you? He said, because of that situation, I never got it again. But, you know. I was like, damn, bro. Why don't you just say that? He said, I couldn't have said that to y'all back then. And that's true. It's a good thing he didn't, because he'd have caught hell for that. We'd have been like, nigga, what are you doing? For real? Go to Hunts Point and get a professional. Y'all don't know about Hunts Point. That was back in the day. Go to Hunts Point and get a pro. You'll be all right. Throw her about $20 and go into a goddamn dark alley somewhere and get your brains blown out, and you'll be all right. Hey, Hardy, salute, sis. I mean, what are you gonna do? But you know, yeah, I heard young Hollywood. I don't know what it's like over there. I heard they got new buildings over there now, so I don't know what's going on over there now. But in the 90s, bro, in the 90s, there was a strip club there called Harry's Triangle. It was at the end where they used to drag race. There was a Wedge Hall, and then there was a third one. I forgot the name of that one. There was 3 strip clubs over there on Hunts Point. There used to be one over there called the GOAT. Bro. The GOAT was a ball of sleaze, bro. The GOAT was I'm surprised the whole building ain't burned down. There was so much fornication in there. The GOAT was slimy. I was underage, but one day I got in there. Me and my boy got in there. Yeah, Todd Swindle, they did. And they filmed it in the 90s. I'm talking like 93. Hunts Point was... Any stories about the tunnel? Yes, I do. I got stories about the tunnel. The tunnel had a co-ed bathroom, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. Jimmy Bernard, what up, man? Jesus Christ. But the tunnel was in Manhattan, y'all. But this was in the Bronx. Hunts Point was it was messed up over there, man. They built it up. They got buildings over there. I don't know what's going on. What you know about, he says, in high school I read 2 books named Tyrell and Bronx, where those 2 books are connected and they talk about some Bronx shit. Yeah, Bronxwood Avenue. That's not far from where I live. Bronxwood Avenue. Yeah, the documentary is called Hookers at the Point. That was in the 90s. There was different black, and the thing was, the clubs closed like at 3, 4 in the morning. And after you leave the club, these dudes would be circling the block because, you know, you lap dance the chicks in there, whatever. The chicks give you lap dances and stuff, and then you leave, and you know you get topped out. You know, those blocks, those chicks, the same chicks be looking good in the club. Like I said, we've driven around just to watch these chicks. Like, yo, look at her, look at her, look at her. Chick, summertime, chicks be out there in bikinis and long boots, and they weren't crackheads. They weren't crackheads. These was like official, and there was so much of it. It didn't make sense for the police to even. The 41st precinct was right there. It didn't make sense for them to do. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't lock up 400 people. I mean, it's crazy. Now, what they did do was they redid the neighborhood. They built more buildings over there. The infrastructure is different, so I don't know if it's like that now. Because it's underneath the Bruckner, and there was like an accident, so I got detoured through there, and I ain't drove through there in like 15 years. And when I'm driving, I'm like, yo, when did they build all these buildings? And I saw kids playing outside. I said, oh no, this is not what it used to be, which is good, you know, but I can't imagine there'll be like chicks just street walking in now. Not now. No, not now. It's nah. I don't know nothing about. All I know is about hookers at the point in the Bronx. I mean, that was crazy. I heard there was a track in or a hostro, whatever you call it, in Brooklyn. I heard about it. Never been out there. It was just crazy. But yeah, getting back to, you know, the topic of the show. Maybe I'll do a show about that. You know, but my boy was sprung over some skull. It's crazy. It's crazy. Goddamn, 30 years later, 35 years later, he tell me that. I'm like, yo, bro, you really, damn, son. So, you know, after I spoke to him, I hit Shorty up, right? I called her. I said, yo, guess what he told me? I told on him. But, you know, we all cool. We laughed about it. You want to hear something crazy? You know what? No, I'm going to leave that out there. Now, here's my story. So when he said about the music getting cut off, here's my story. 93, I was dating a chick that lived on the other side of the Bronx. And back then I had long hair. And I was gonna go to this African spot to get my hair braided, right? She lived up the street. She used to live on Sheridan Avenue, up the concourse. And I took the 41 bus, got off, right? And I'll never forget this. This was before cell phones, y'all. I had a beeper. And I told her I was going to go see these Africans. I remember going into the spot and asking them, what time do you open on Saturday mornings? And the lady told me we open up early, 7 a.m. I said, cool. Now, my ex, her parents, well, her mother and her boyfriend will go away and leave her in the crib. You know, she was in her 20s. Leave her in the crib alone for a week. Bet. So that Saturday, they left on a Thursday. That Saturday, I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to get my hair braided. I'm going to be there bright and early. And I asked the lady, and I said, how long is it going to take you to braid my hair up? Because I wanted, I had long fucking hair. So I just wanted some braids, you know, whatever. And she said, oh, what you want? It'll take about an hour. Because me and my sister, we do one side, do the other side, and they braid fast. And I said, I bet. So I told her, I said, I'm going to be there. I'm going to get there bright and early. I'll be done by like 8. And I'm going to walk up the hill and we're going to chill. All right. She told me okay, right? She said, okay. She told me okay. She okayed me to death. I said, okay. I said, all right. So see you in the morning. I get up like I was going to school. Get up. Summertime, right? Get up. Take the bus over there. I get to the front of the fucking hair braided place. They closed. So I'm waiting on the corner. Looking at my beeper. 7:15, 7:20. Now it's 8 o'clock. And I'm like, man, I done went inside the bodega. I got a bacon cheese because I don't eat eggs. You know, and I'm nothing. I said, well, it's been an hour. I told her I'd be done around this time anyway. So I started walking up the hill. Right? The spot never opened. I don't know why. Walk up the hill. I go to the payphone. Call her. Phone just rang. Maybe she's asleep. I get close to the block. Phone just rang. Now, back in the day, if the phone just rings and you hang up the phone, you can get your quarterback. So, walk up the block, and I was hanging up before her answer machine came on. Called again. I used like 4 different payphones walking up the street. Right? I get to the corner of her building. Called again. You want to know why I called so much? She had all of these bugged out rules. She always had a story about somebody she was dealing with, and they violated these rules. One of the rules she had, Tom, what up? One of the rules she had, I'm allergic to eggs, assholes. That's why. I don't eat eggs because I'm allergic. That's why I don't eat eggs. So it's not a bacon, egg, and cheese. It was a bacon cheese on a roll, a toasted roll. God damn it. Yeah, man. So I get to the corner. Now she had these bugged out rules, and it was always with some dude. And you know, I never stopped to think how many motherfuckers she dealt with to have all these goddamn rules. Young and dumb, right? So now I'm calling her because she had a rule: don't be showing up at my house unannounced. And I hear that because I remember this nigga came to my house unannounced, and he came all the way from Flatbush, came all the way up here, and just popped up, calling himself popping up. I ain't let him in. Okay, I'll never. And Flatbush is a lot for. I lived on the other side of the Bronx. It was still a task for me to get there. So now I'm calling on the corner. I'm like, she don't hear the phone. Going to the building. Somebody was coming. Now here I go. I'm waiting in front of the building. I have to wait for someone to come out. So then I come in. She lived on the second floor. I go up to the second floor. I hear music. And I'm like, okay, she don't hear the phone. She don't hear the phone ringing. I've been calling for like 15 minutes. She didn't hear it. I said, okay, well, she's going to have to let that rock. So I go ring the bell. No answer. I ring it again. No answer. Now here I go with my bullshit. I bang on the door. She goes, who is it? I'm like, yo, it's me. Me who?
Whoa! What the yeah, it's kind of pretty before it gets started.
What? I said, stop playing. She said, well, it can't be you because you know that you're supposed to call before you show up to my door. I said, well, if you check your phone, your caller ID, remember the little white boxes, the old caller IDs? You will see that I called you like 9 times. You didn't hear the phone because you had the music blasted. I said, stop playing. Just let me in. She said, sorry. I said, oh, damn, I said her name. I said, stop playing. You saw that I called you like 9 times. You didn't hear the phone. You had the music playing. And here I am trying to plead with her. Yo, I abided by your rule. Now watch this, y'all. Yeah, AI, you heard the name. You heard the name. And that's how you spelled it too. That's how she spelled it. Didn't I tell her I was getting my fucking hair braided the day before? And I said, when I'm done, I'll be done around 8:30-ish or whatever. When I'm done, I'm gonna come up. And she was like, yeah, okay, yeah. So, really didn't make a difference. I found myself standing in front of that goddamn door for at least 5 or 6 minutes. Like, is she really gonna like not open the fucking door? So I like stepped away from the door and I'm like, should I ring again? And I leave the building and I walked up to the payphone. I said, am I really gonna take my quarter and put it in and then call her? No. Holy shit. You know what I was supposed to do at that moment? I was supposed to never talk to her again. You couldn't block people then? I would have to have a conversation with her, like, when she calls me, be like, yeah, F you, man. That was foul. Don't ever talk to me again. And just, she had all these weird rules. Oh, if we get into it on the phone and you hang up on me, that must mean you don't want to talk to me. So, you can call me, but I ain't going to answer the phone. I'll talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you. My brother, ATL, salute. All these bugged out rules, and she was mad aggressive. So, lesson learned. I left, and I was walking down the hill with this look on my face, like, I can't believe she. What the fuck? I was confused all the way home, like, what the fuck just happened? And I told my boys what happened. They were like, bro. I learned a valuable lesson. I remember one of my OGs said, when I explained the situation to him, he's just listening like, okay. So I said, yo, man, I feel like, and he said, stop. So I was going to say something stupid. He said, did you know for every one man on this planet, there's like 8 women? I'm looking at him like, okay. How's that helping me now? And he said, I forgot what the stat was. I couldn't even check it. But he said, I think he said like 1 out of like 11 dudes back then. He said 1 out of 11 are probably like gay or just playing their video games or just not interested in women. She said, when you really think about it, it's about 8, 16, 24 women to 1 man. He said, even when you get a little older, there'll be some married women that don't want to lay and play. There's probably about 32 or 40 something to 1 man in this world. He said, probably just keep it in the Bronx. And I said, I don't get it. He said, do you know math? I said, yeah. He said, what am I telling you? Why are you worried about her? He said, didn't you say her friend looked good? Then I got it. The way she was behaving, it was a defense mechanism. The reality was she had a lot of insecurities because everything that she told me she'd been through, which was a lot for a girl at her age, which looking back, when I got a little older, I said, man, she's so full of shit. She was so full of shit. And she was so disrespectful. I learned how to read a person and all her insecurities. The reason why I ain't break, and I'm petty, the reason why I ain't break up with her because I decided to make her a lab rat. I kept her around so I could learn from her. And I thank God every day for that relationship. I learned so much. And when I was done, I was done. Into the relationship, because we was in a relationship, into the relationship, I began to learn that the less fucks I gave, the more respect I got from her. And I said, why does it have, I was used to say to myself, why does it have to be that way? Why can't I just be nice to her and she be nice to me and we could just be nice to each other? No. She liked misery and chaos. She liked to argue and debate. She used to say she wanted to be a lawyer. I'm like, yo, look, I got an older brother, a younger sister. We all fighting with each other every day. You're supposed to be my peace. I want to fight with you. Damn. But I got a lot of respect when I used to tell her, yo, will you just shut up? You're talking too much. Ain't nobody asked you why you curse like a sailor. What's wrong? Man, get out of here. I'm done talking to you. Stop it. Boom. And don't call her back. Then I get the phone call 2 days later. Why are you acting like this? This was not the person that left me standing in front of her fucking door the year prior. And I said, okay, I got this bitch. Yeah. I learned so much. I didn't violate her. I didn't it wasn't none of calling her out her name and stuff like that. Only when she got on my nerves, like, yo, man, stop. You're gonna make me say something crazy. But that type of dysfunction she was used to. It never got physical, nothing like that. I don't play those games. But I learned a lot. And when I got tired, I let it go. She started talking about how she wanted more in a relationship. And I said, no. What you trying to do, I'm not trying to do right now. So, get your walking papers. Get your walking papers, And I had to be an asshole to generate compliance and to get respect. Because being nice, I was getting walked over. And by the way, y'all, we was a few months into our relationship. I found out later that she was still juggling me and her ex, who was at the house that day. According to her, he walked up when I left. Do you know what would have happened if I passed him? If I passed some dude and passed it, we got 6 cents too. All would have happened was I'd have walked past homie, he'd have walked past me, I'd have went back in the building and followed him up the steps. And I'd have been like, yo, I wasn't stupid enough to get into a fight like that. But I'd have been like, yo, see, stupid. She told me that shit later. I was like, oh, okay. Not stupid, but I behaved in that fashion. But that situation I needed to go through because it made me tough. I said, is this what a relationship is? At my age, let me see how far this goes. And the less fucks I gave, the more respect she gave me, which I don't know why it was like that. It was stupid. But she had all kinds of issues. She had father issues and all that. She'll never admit it. She'll never admit she had daddy issues. PM says you shouldn't have never went to her crib when she didn't answer your 8 calls, bro. And you're right. But again, young and dumb. That's the title of the show. What are you chasing? And I learned so much. She became a lab rat. After that moment, when I talked to my OGs that put me up on game. Yeah. And I know you're right. I should 8 calls. No, bro. It was like 9 calls. You're missing a number. It was like 9 calls. There was like 3 pay phones that I used. And the last one was on the corner of her apartment building. And I'm like, what? And then when I got there, I heard the music playing. And I'm like rationalizing it. Oh, yeah, she ain't hear the phone. She's playing the music. And plus, the day before, I told her I was getting my hair braided and coming over. I told her that. It was a plan. Well, part of her plan was she sees more value in the ex than me that day. Okay. Her friend has some good pussy, though.
Whoa! Oh, P.E.P.
Go! What? Y'all thought I was gonna let that slide? I was very petty. And I said, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her back. I'm not gonna leave this alone until I get her back. And it took me about 2 years. I'm gonna get her, and I got her. I got her. I got her. Woo-wee. When I left it splattered, her friend, breathing heavy, said, you know, you can't never tell her. I said, I ain't gonna say shit. I'm on my way to her crib right now. I jumped up, my nasty ass. I didn't even shower before I left her crib. You gotta wash. No. Maybe she'll smell something. You stupid, go home. No. I ain't go to her crib directly after that. These bitches ain't shit. Let's play games. You want to play games? Let's play games. That one moment set me straight. And I had a ball. Something else happened that I will never share. Here's the deal. She's not my enemy. But I'll say this. You ever had a trump card on somebody that was so crazy that, I mean, y'all cool, but in your mind, you're like, if this chick ever acts up, I got something on her so bad that she might have to like move to the moon. And it never got to that. It never got to the point where it was like, well, I had to threaten her with it. But it's crazy because I broke up with her a few months later. But something happened. And she couldn't say shit to me ever, like in life. If she ever got on some high horse shit and start drag, let's say she started a YouTube channel or something and start trying to drag me or whatever, I'll pull up on her and be like, yo, sure you want to do this? She'll be like, no. I don't care if she did a live stream and dragged me and it got her 1 million views. If I pulled up on her and be like, yo, you're going to take this video down. And whatever money you made off this video, I want half of this shit because my name was in it. Matter of fact, give it all to me because, you know, and I got proof. There was no cell phones back then. This is the 90s, y'all. I got proof by way of a person. Don't play with me. You want smoke? She'll be like, no. That. Like that, y'all. Like that. Like that. I ain't, I told my boys, though, I said, you'll never guess what happened tonight. And when I told them, they were like, what? I said, I swear to God. They're like, nigga. Swear to God. Swear to God. They was like, yo, that's who just dropped you off. I said, I swear to God. I said, you saw who was driving? It was like, yeah. I said, right hand of God. No bullshit. Nah, Mr. I didn't. But Bro, I ain't gonna share the story. That's just one of those things. But she could never. She could never. I won, bro. Trust me. I stuck around and I won. I won. I won that. That shit that she did early in the relationship with me standing at the door like a fucking idiot like I was, I won. It took me about 2 years. But I won, bro. I won. I wasn't trying to like, we had some good times. I wasn't trying to like get her, but then there was just some things falling into place. And when opportunities came up, I always thought about how I looked like an asshole standing in front of her fucking door. And I said, you know what? I ain't never getting over that. So I felt good. I felt better, you know, to be honest, just stepping out. I felt better. But then there was this one situation that happened. Totally unplanned, and it just happened. And we had a conversation about it 2 days later, and she was like, look, you know, it happened, and I would appreciate if you don't like talk about it, or it can't happen again. You do know that. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. I know you'll spur the moment things. You know, it's cool. All right. You good? I'm okay. Okay. Well, listen, I'm about to go play ball. I'll talk to you. Hung the phone up, popped my collar. I said, I got this bitch. Said she could never, ever in life say, even today, everybody knocking on 50, she could never say anything to me. I'll be like, word. And I'll just give her a look like, you want to do this? You want to do this? You want to do this? Sure. Mm-hmm. Be my guest. Let me give you a subdivision. I'm not going to tell that. I'm not going to share the actual thing that happened. I'll give you a subdivision. I break up with her about 6 years later. Me and my boy, we go to, there was a strip club. Oh, how could I forget? It's not there no more. But there was a strip club over in Hunts Point. Once when you coming from Manhattan over 3rd Avenue Bridge back into the Bronx, there was a big old strip club there named Golden Lady. If you know, you know, the Golden Lady. It was 2 levels. I saw Oscar De La Hoya and Hector Camacho fight in that strip club. The night Oscar fought Hector Camacho, I watched it in that club, right? Go in there, right? And who's got their titties out dancing? My ex-younger sister. And I sat down and I had a Corona in my hand. And and my boy just grabs me like, boom. I'm like, what? I'm looking at the exits. Like, yo, whoa, what's happening? He's like, look. I said, oh my God. And it was so embarrassing that we got off the stools and we tried to like see, we was ready to leave. I was like, oh shit. And we like backed up. We was like, as soon as we turned to like, we didn't want to embarrass her. She's like, yo, what up? We was like, damn. And she came up with her titties out. Her younger sister. So once again, she can't say shit to me like ever in life. Ever. That's just a subdivision. And she's talking to us because Shorty had big knockers. Her sister had big knockers too. So we just sitting there like, yo, what's up, guys? Yo, let me show you my friend. And she's bringing up all her girlfriends or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, I like her because she can eat. And then I'm like, oh my God. And we just sitting there giving us free beer. And I'm just sitting there, I'll be back. Let me go get this money. And I look at my boy. I'm like, I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone. I'm in the Twilight Zone. Because you got to understand, when I first met her sister, she was underage. Now she done grew up and she's doing this. It bothered me. It really did. It really did. It really bothered me. It really bothered me. So after they closed, drove her home, but we stopped at a diner. She bought us breakfast. Dropped her home. And on the way home, I told my boy, I said, you know, she could never say anything. He said, there's this and that other situation. Yes. And the other situation is confirmed because I had made a phone call and put it on speaker. And I said, listen. And I started talking about it. And it was confirmed. He heard it like, yo, I told you, bro. So all that mean shit she was doing, you know, she could never say anything. She has to be the sweetest person in the world. She walked past me in the street right now. I could probably be on some Kiss My Converse. But I ain't that dude. But anyway, what are you chasing? We call it simping nowadays, man. You know, quality versus quantity, man. That's why some people prefer a variety of, you know, people that they date. But if you find that one good one, you know, pack it up, man. What are you chasing? You got to ask yourself that, man. I stuck in that situation for 3 years, y'all. And it became, after she did that, the rest of it became a learning experience. I was pissed off. But we had some good times, but then when she would get me mad, I'd remind myself that I'm just collecting data. It's a long time. 3 years is a long time to collect data, right? But I did, and I don't regret anything because I learned so much. I learned about people's insecurities, and I'm like, every time I, you know, because I got to know her family, and I'm like, oh, that's why she act the way she act. Oh, that's why she mad at her dad, and you know, learned a lot. But then when I was done, I was done. Man, I wouldn't take back a thing. I wouldn't take back a thing. Some great stuff, man. But when you're watching Forrest Gump and you look at Jenny, you know, you're like, damn, man, she's horrible. But Forrest Gump was autistic. Y'all not autistic, but you may as well been. Snap out of it. Recognize what you're chasing and ask if it's feasible. Is it productive in your life, man? I stuck in that awful thing, and I turned those lemons into lemonade. Because let me tell you, after she did that, it was party time. It was party time. It was. I'm not just saying that. I was like, man, you know what? I don't deserve this. I'm better than this. So I don't need to deal with this. But let me keep it around for, you know, my sexual gratification. And she had a few cute friends. And let me see what's going on. And I did. And then incidentally, after we broke up, it was like a whole 6 years later, running into her sister, her younger sister at the club. It was crazy, man. And of course, there was you run into her a little later, and you know that. What you doing? Nothing. You want to? Yeah, hit real quick, and there was that. I don't regret shit, but if you're chasing something and you know it's bad for you, when you get it, you get everything you deserve. That's my point. What the fuck made me call her from a payphones 9 times? What made me do that? Thirsty. Now, when you get a little older, what makes you do what you do? Ladies, what does that dude do for you? Other than knock your spine out of alignment. Other than give you that look that makes you gushy. Other than his green eyes, his brown eyes, his curly hair, his bald head, his long hair. What are those qualities that drive you up a wall? What is it? Tell me what it is. Can you? Probably can't. You gotta do better. You absolutely gotta do better. Is the juice worth the squeeze? And to be honest, sometimes you have to learn how to just lay and play and keep it at that. And that goes for men and women. If you're laying and playing, just keep it there. Once feelings get involved, you know that person ain't no good for you. So what the hell are you doing? What are you chasing? Fellas, we know when these chicks ain't no good for us. You stick around, you're only asking for it. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You guys know better. Night Train, you're absolutely right. And that chick had a lot of issues. I learned so much in that relationship that I was in. I learned so much. Y'all not supposed to leave a situation without learning something. Nothing's a complete failure. You learn. And that don't mean take those bad qualities and take it out on the next person you're dealing with. I'm not saying that. You take it, you put it in the back of your head, and when you see something, you're like, is this it? And give it an honest assessment, not a panicking assessment, an honest assessment. You might be panicking. Stay dangerous. What up, man? So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm gonna cook on these monkeys tomorrow morning. Jennifer was a little touched, but she was a son of a monkey. She was a super villain. The illest super villain was not Magneto, Dr. Doom, Thanos. It was this bitch. Forrest Gump. And salute to y'all, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Super Chat, man. We'll be back here on Friday. You know what I mean? Love y'all, man. And make sure you take it gently. See y'all in the AM.